next decade, the decision we're going to have to make as a state and as a country is, do we want to import the workers or do we want to import our food?
Sure seems like a simplified ultimatum, but ag leaders in the state say it is a reality. Yesterday, we told you about a new report from the University of Idaho that showed our economy is dependent on undocumented workers. It's especially true for year-round agricultural jobs, like at the dairy, because our federal work visa programs only accept seasonal work. Idaho's congressional delegation has tried to fix that, but Congressman Mike Simpson told us last year, politics keep getting in the way.
And until you can control that border, you're going to have a tough time passing anything that has the word immigration attached to it. And that's unfortunate. That's the political environment that we're in.
Okay, so now the Idaho Senate says, well, they've seen enough. Lawmakers don't have to agree on a lot here. They don't have a lot on this topic to agree on, but there's a majority voice saying the feds, they need to step up. First, secure the border. Second, create a work visa for year-round labor. Here's Andrew Bartline.
There tends to be understanding ingrained in the binary. White collars and blue, or left versus right. Now add the political plea today.
Federal government
of Americans.
Please do something.
And the undocumented.
We need to secure our borders right now.
But that's just one piece of a nuanced problem.
A task they have failed miserably at.
Where the solution now can't be reduced to just ones and twos.
Prioritizes labor over security. That's what this memorial does.
As a state, Idaho has little to no control over the southern border, but plenty of concern.
That it's only gotten worse.
So the Idaho Senate today is only here to send a message to D.C.
We can, badmouth the administration and do all that we want to do, but Congress has got to act. The president's got to act.
Though there's a spectrum on exactly what that message is.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
Sponsored by Senator Jim Guthrie.
Amnesty.
And Kelly Anthony.
This memorial says we do not support amnesty as the Idaho State Senate.
But it also says current undocumented workers are essential to the state's economy.
To work in jobs and industries that is undesirable to the domestic workforce.
Roughly 30,000 undocumented workers are in Idaho. And the memorial simultaneously calls for a year-round work visa program, which sounds antithetical to no amnesty.
And if there's going to be punishment or consequence, where do all these guest workers come from?
Senator Brian Lenny opposed the memorial for that reason.
Where are the guest workers coming from? If we're not going to let people in and we're going to take the people here and hold them responsible, to me that would be sending them back, deporting them.
That line doesn't mean anything to me because we're not going to put any teeth behind it. We're not holding anybody accountable now.
Practically, Idaho's in no position to deport 30,000 workers, mostly because of how the system's set up.
Because of our desperation for workers, we have encouraged lawlessness in those who come here illegally and those who hire them knowing they are illegal. And so there's been some things that have been stated that I really find offensive, is that Americans do not want to do these jobs. I have witnessed that they do want to do these jobs. I've actually hired some of them.
Our previous reporting shows Senator Zeiderfeld is quite the exception to the rule. Last year, Idaho had 6,000 dairy job openings, giving priority to Americans. Only 3 applied, and an anonymous farmer makes it even more clear.
I mean, in the 20 plus years that we have used the H-2A program, I have had one American applicant that has come to me for a job.
Fix illegal immigration at the border. Fix legal immigration on the farms.
But what this is saying is you're going to be accountable.
The Idaho Senate voted the feds can and should do both.
To say that we just shut the border off, how would that have looked if we'd have done that 10, 20, 50 years ago? And how many of us possibly in this room might have been affected by a policy that narrow?
So is it amnesty to allow people who broke the law to come and work in America to stay and keep working through what would be a year-round visa program if this letter actually accomplishes something in the long run? Well, I guess that depends on your definition of amnesty, but Senator Guthrie says the applicable laws that already exist will still exist, and current undocumented workers would not be exempt from them. So sure, Brian, you could throw the book at whoever you wanted as a prosecutor, somebody in charge of immigration. But there is discretion in our law. First offense crossing the border, if you're not trafficking drugs or any other accompanying crime, it's a misdemeanor, and it can be a fine of like $250. So maybe that's how you handle it. I don't know. There is discretion, though.
It would be interesting. I don't know exactly what Representative or Senator Zoiderfeld, does for a living to say she's hired them herself.
People we've talked to said they can't find anyone.
Twice as many people we've spoken to have said that's not a thing. So, all right. Thank you very much, Andrew. All right.